What's up, YouTube? It's your boy BLG here, and today we're going to be at the intersection of gaming and politics. Now, I want to say I am in no way, shape, or form an expert, and a lot of this is just my own personal thoughts and opinions on this topic, so please chill out. Here's some important notes before we get into the nitty-gritty of this video. A lot of my prices are actually coming from at-launch prices. They have changed quite a bit since then. We were originally looking at the Nintendo Switch 2 being around $500 at launch, with it now being $450, and games have gone from $80 physical copies at launch to around $70 to $80, depending on the game and depending on the region, and sometimes up to $90 depending on whether or not that game has DLC or not. So those are kind of the price ranges we're messing with. So recently on our group page, Unknown Society, make sure to go follow on Instagram and YouTube. We had a clip from one of our podcast episodes of me talking about Nintendo kind of setting the precedent for game pricings right now. And yes, I'll admit it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but I'm not wrong. And the video is doing really well right now. I think it's sitting at like 5K views with over 149 likes and over 60 comments. There was a big discussion in there, and it just really got me thinking, why is it we have to shy away from criticisms on companies doing anti-consumer business practices when for the past 4 years companies have shown nothing but to be anti-consumer? With Micron pulling out of the VRAM market and Nvidia also shifting its focuses to AI, really gives you the sense of maybe these companies don't care about you. Which is why it surprises me that there's still so many Nintendo fans who try to justify this behavior with Nintendo, despite seeing all around the market, they are trying to cut you out. They're trying to cut you out of the deal. They're trying to give you less for more. Since launch, the Switch 2 hasn't had, in my opinion, any games really worth that $80 price tag. I probably played Mario Kart for like a month until I never touched it again. Donkey Kong has never been that big of a game to me. I know that it's a big game to a lot of other people. I've heard good things about it. I still don't think that Donkey Kong is a console selling product. I don't. Now, I understand that that's all just preference. Finding whether the games are worth it or not is just preference to player. And I also can acknowledge that I'm operating in the context of somebody who already owns a PC and somebody who already owns an Ally. Chances are any third-party titles are either going to get played on my PC for the better graphics and the better higher frame rates, or my Ally if I wanted to do it, because I probably already have the game and there's no reason to buy the game twice. That's just common sense. Now, with that being said, I do think there is something to be said about the lack of quality in these new mainline title games, but I'm gonna save that for y'all. What do y'all think about the quality, and do you think that it's worth the $80 price tag? But I do want to talk about what's not worth the $80 price tag. Is $80 price tag for a physical copy and it not actually being physical. I think that's a valid criticism. I know it's not every game. Some third-party titles definitely are way cheaper than $80, and if they are on physical copies, they're actually physical, but we can't really say that for the mainline Nintendo exclusive games. And that's where I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this video, because Nintendo is anti-consumer. They are against the right to repair. They are against third-party accessories. They're against putting their games on sale. Fucking Breath of the Wild is like a 7-year game at this point. Let's just go take a look and see how much it is real quick on the store. I have my Switch 2 here, and on it I have to buy the game Breath of the Wild. Still a $70 game. That's fucking ridiculous. If you have the game already, you do have to pay $10. That's a little bit better. Let's say I didn't have the game and I wanted to buy this. I'm out $80 on a game that used to be $60 when it came out. Now, I know it's only a $10 difference from Breath of the Wild's price at launch, but again, that was 7 years ago. Now, upon a little bit more research, I did find out that the lowest price that Nintendo has sold the game on a deal for is about $40. Still a little high, but it's better than $70 for a 7-year-old game. Now, with that being said, there are some rumors though of Nintendo possibly raising their prices for DLC and the entire experience on a 7-year-old game to $90. That has yet to be confirmed, so I take that with a grain of salt. I know it's just a $10 difference. And I definitely do feel like Nintendo has broken their trust with their customers before. This is not a new thing to me, so I am a little surprised at how up in arms people got about it. But maybe I'm just tripping. You guys please let me know, because I feel like between the pricing and how much I spent at launch to how much it is now, I kind of got duped a little bit. Another argument we had in these comments is that it's not just Nintendo, and it's not. Let's move on to talk about Xbox real quick, because I feel like this is something that also in the video that I didn't get to cover, which is, I don't think that it's only Nintendo. I think it's a lot of companies right now. Just like the aforementioned companies before, when I mentioned Micron and Nvidia, it's also Xbox and Microsoft, and it's also Sony. But let's stick on Xbox real quick, because I got a lot to talk about there. Xbox Game Pass was great. I used it since I bought my first gaming laptop, which has been about 4 years-ish. Since the restructuring, they changed the pricing from around $16 to $19.99 to $30. And that's not just why it's bad, okay? Because not only is it now $30 a month for the highest subscription, they restructured it in a way where the other two lower priced options are fucking useless, effectively making like half of their player base have to migrate into the higher price bracket to essentially get the same thing they were getting at even higher a cost. It's fucking gross. And these are the type of anti-consumer business practices that I think all these companies fucking exhibit. And the only company that really hasn't like exhibited these kind of behaviors is Steam. Steam so far has been good. I'm not gonna say they're perfect, but they have been good so far. And the last thing is Sony. Sony having all their exclusives on Steam. Now all these PC players caught a taste of it. They just restructured their pricing on the PlayStation shop and then completely pulled away their exclusive titles on Steam. So now you can't get them following these next new releases, which is essentially just trying to get players from a different pool to come over just so they could buy a fucking PS5. Hate that shit. That's fucking scummy, bro. And I'm not saying that every company has to like homogenize to one Play Store and one thing. I'm just hate when companies remove options from you. And that's kind of just the gist of what I wanted to talk about. I learned a lot with that clip because I did some research, and I think I also got a lot of good feedback, a lot of constructive criticism on my standpoint on it. But ultimately, I do feel like I'm still very valid. I do think a lot of these companies do very anti-consumer things. Nintendo also being one of those things, like never putting your games on sale, despite the fact that they're already 7-year-old games at this point, and overcharging on accessories, doing physical copies at a higher price point, but it just being really a digital download. Crazy work. I still think those things are terrible. I would love to see those things change, but you know, it don't seem like it. And that's where I want to pass it off to you. Where do you guys think the industry is going? I want to know your thoughts on, do you think Nintendo is scummy or not? Do you think they have some bad business practices? Let me know in the comments, because I would really like to know. Anyways, y'all, go ahead, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys for coming, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.